in this investigation so far. That is the motive. They still don't know what may have driven John Hauser to open fire inside this theater in a town where he appears to have very little connection. Police asking the public for any information to help explain why he was even in Lafayette.
We know he had some contacts early on in the city with some businesses, but you know, nothing that would have alerted anyone to think that maybe we need to call law enforcement about this fella or anything like that. So it's going to be really slow now, slow going from this point forward.
Matthew Horace is Senior Vice President and Chief Security Officer at FJC Security Services and a former special agent in charge with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Matthew, it's good to have you with me. And as we get the profile starting to emerge here of who this 59-year-old white man is, the motive behind this really remains a mystery, especially with no real connection to the area.
Well, I think investigators are going to begin, and they already have begun, trying to piece together what, why, and how this happened. They mentioned the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'm sure they're going to be diving in to see what he's done, what he's said online, what he may be espousing, and what views he was carrying enough to commit this heinous crime.
One thing I'm just getting word on, we're going to have a 2 p.m. update from the Lafayette Medical Center, where most of the injured were taken out of this. One of the 9 was listed in critical condition. 2 had been released, but we'll get an update on the rest of their conditions. So I just want to pass that along to everybody. But Matthew, as we learned, police say the initial search of this motel where Hauser was staying, it turned up wigs and glasses, potentially for the premeditated escape plan of trying to get out without being recognized. Police were so quick to this scene, though, that as he tried to flee, as a pretend victim, he turned around and took his own life. But are we seeing the bigger portrait, as we learned from his wife and from other associates, the issues of mental health being the bigger picture here?
Well, mental health seems to be a common theme in some of these incidents. But let's face it, we're a week out from Chattanooga. We're a week and a month out from Charleston. The motives are always very different, and we just have to let the investigation play out. But one thing is for sure, in each of these incidents, there is the illegal possession and use of a firearm. And as the president said this morning, there are more of these incidents occurring than there are acts of terrorism in the U.S., and I think we need to start paying attention. We're going to get to the point where we need security everywhere.
Yeah, we especially have conversations about hindsight being 20/20, but when is enough enough? Former ATF Special Agent Matthew Horace. Matthew, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Up next, a drop in the polls.